أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم. So, as we mentioned, the five verses are the first revelation. This verse revealed after 2.5 years, and the time is called Fatratul Wahi. Okay, Fatratul Wahi means interruption of the revelation. There was no revelation at that time. And these verses, the remaining of the surah, are regarding Abu Jahl. When Abu Jahl saw the Prophet ﷺ praying, so he told him that, I will not let you pray anymore. And he used to put a shawl in his neck and drag it. And sometimes he will put garbage on his back. And one time he brought all his people to, Na'udhu Billah, kill the Prophet ﷺ. When he was proceeding toward him, then he pulled backward. And somebody asked him, why you didn't go ahead? He said, I saw a ditch of fire between me and him. And there was special kind of creation also. And that scared me. So, in that, Allah referred to that also, that he should call his Nadia, the men of his council, he should call. Allah say, we will call our soldiers, Zabaniya. He should call his Nadia, we will call our Zabaniya. Okay, his people, his supporters are Nadia, Allah's soldiers, the angels are Zabaniya. So, this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Kalla. As we mentioned before, this Kalla is coming in the Qur'an very frequently. It has several meanings. The famous meaning is that this is called Kalimatur Rada'. And the second most famous meaning is Kalimatut Tahqiq. Okay, so when Kalimatur Rada' mean, you say something or a conversation was going on and you draw a red cross on it and you say, Kalla, never. Whatever you all said is not true. So they call Kalimatur Rada'. You reject the previous conversation. Okay, so we translate it as nay or never, Kalla. It has the opposite meaning also, Kalimatut Tahqiq, which means definitely. Now here, when you read the translations of the English translation of the Qur'an, so some will say here nay, and some will say here Kalimatut Tahqiq, in fact, in reality, okay? So when they say nay, so what is here that you are negating? They say insan is creating from alaq, from the clot of blood, and Allah is the one who taught him knowledge through the pen, and he taught him whatever he never knew, but he is not behaving. Okay, he's doing tughyan, he's crossing the limit. So kalla, it never happened that he was submitted or humble, if you use it in that meaning. And majority of the scholars, they took it as kalimatut tahqiq, which means kalla mean indeed. Okay, so kalla, in fact, inna indeed al-insana, the human being. Okay, this alif lam, the alif lam, like you bring it, like for example, insanun. Insanun means any human being. And al-insan mean, as we told you, this alif lam for ta'arif, which means a specific human being. Al-insan. So by that definition, if you say al-insan, then it will mean only one man. Al-insan. One man. The man. Insanun, a man. But remember, this alif lam is not always mean only one specific one. Sometimes this alif lam is called alif lam for jins, jinsi. Okay, and sometimes it is alif lam istighraqi. Okay, and sometimes it is alif lam ahdi. Okay, now look here. Like for example, you say hamdun. So hamdun mean what? Praise, any praise. Why? Because it is common noun, nakira, hamdun. Okay? Now you make it alhamdu. So alhamdu means the praise, which means one particular kind of praise. But when we translate, what we say? We say the praise or we say all praise, all praise. Why? Because this alif lam here, this is alif lam istighraqi. Istighraq means inclusive, that not a single member of the species, of the category is out. So that is why we don't translate alhamdu as the praise. What we say? All praise. Why? Alif lam here is not ahdi. Alif lam here is what? Istighraq. Istighraq means all. Okay? Gharq means drowning, which means everybody drown inside it. Okay? Nobody is outside. Remember this, okay? So that is why we say what? All. Alif lam here, al mean here what? All, okay? Normally we say al mean da, like only a particular one to make it proper noun. Now sometime this insan will be 98% of the insan and not 100%. So wal asri innal insana lafi khusr. Okay, then if you make this as istighraqi, how will you say? Indeed, all the human beings, they are in the loss. Okay, innal insana, because alif lam istighraqi. But the ulama say it is better to make it as alif lam jinsi, which means the species of the mankind. So what is the difference between istighraqi and jinsi? In istighraq, not a single member can be outside. In jinsi, majority of the species is a few is not that fine. So in the insan lafi khusr, this is al-Islam jinsi, that normally this is the character of the human being, that he is rushing toward the loss. But Anbiya also, they are human beings, but they are not in the loss. They are outside. Okay? So what is the difference between jinsi and istighraqi? Istighraqi has to be 100%, not a single person. Jinsi means that this is the behavior. Like for example, if you say a dog is a loyal animal, al-kalb. So what that mean? That the jins of the dog is loyal, some of them are not. Okay, so al-kalb. Okay, jinsi. Or you say ar-rajulu aqwa min al-mar'ati. Okay, that man is stronger than the woman. So this alif lam is what? Jinsi. Why? Because there are women who are stronger than the men. Okay, gymnastic, right? Okay, so you will remember it now. Kalla innal insana layatgha. Okay, alif lam. You can take this insan as a istighraqi or jinsi, which means normally the behavior of the insan is what? So you cannot take it, or you can take it alif lam ahdi. Alif lam ahdi mean one specific one, which mean Abu Jahl. Okay? So ahdi mean one, istighraqi mean all, jinsi mean majority. Remember it like that, because all will be used in the Qur'an. Okay? So if you say innal insana, the man, which means that particular man, Abu Jahl, you can use it. Or if you use it as jinsi or istighraq, jinsi means that generally the insan is the species of the insan is what? La yatgha, he crossed the limit. Tughyan mean what? Crossing the limit, rebellion. Okay? When he cross the limit, ar-ra'ahu, because there is a ba here, because that, unmean that, because that, ra'ahu, he see himself. Okay? So, fa'il and maf'ul are both in this kalima. Ra'ahu, who is doing the action? He. And who he is seeing? Himself. Okay? When he see himself, istaghna, not in need. A person, he is very humble. Why? Because he say, I need to be humble to him because he is teach me, because he fulfill my need, he is my father. All of a sudden, he become a big businessman. So he don't care about his father, his uncle, his mother anymore because I don't need anybody, I don't care. Okay? So the knowledge and the money bring the pride in a person. He say, I know everything, I don't need anybody. So this is the characteristic. When he find himself not in need, so what he does? Tughyan. He rebel. He crossed the limit. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Inna, indeed, ila, toward Rabbika, your Rabb, ar-ruj'a is the return. Okay, ruj'a is masdar, like bushra. Okay, so masdar mean root word. Return is the return. What that mean? Allah is giving him the answer that ruj'a mean that why you are crossing the limits. You don't know that your final destination is toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Or ruj'a mean that no matter how rich you are, you still need your fellow human being. Because insan is very madaniyu tab'a. Madaniyu tab'a mean he like to live in the other human being, with them. Right? Like you will see people don't even talk to one another for 10 years, but they still live side by side. They make different places where they live together. They like to live with one another. So they call madaniyu tab'a. That insan, no matter how rich he is, he need a person, electrician, he need a plumber, he needs somebody to teach his children, he need a driver, a pilot. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made the system. Otherwise, if he was the only one living on the face of the earth, he will have been in trouble. Okay? So the whole system is returning to your Lord. So why he is doing istighna? So this can be two meanings. One is that the return is in the hereafter. The other meaning is that even the current system is because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He cannot run the system. One bite of food which is coming in your mouth, some of the wise people say, hukama, that 500 people are utilized in it. Right? Inna ila rabbika ruj'a. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Ara'ayta alladhi, have you seen that man, yanha, who stop, abadan, our servant, yani Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, idha salla, when he pray. Have you seen that man who forbid, who stop the servant? Okay, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, idha salla, when he pray. Right? Okay.
Kalla, in fact, innal insan, that indeed insan, indeed mankind, layatagha is transgressing. Ar-ra'ahu, because he sees himself, istaghna, to be self-sufficient.
Not in need.
Or not in need. Inna ila, that indeed to Rabbika, your Lord, ruja'a is the return. Ara'ayta, have you seen alladhi, the one, yanha, who stops, abadan, a servant, either when salla, when he prayed.
Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.